Welcome to Revelations of a Delusional Knitter. I'm Angela, your host. This is episode 95, and it is Tuesday, June 18th, 2014. On to updates and housekeeping. Welcome if you are new. If you are returning, I thank you as always, and either way, I hope you enjoy the show and continue to watch. If you use iTunes, if you would leave a star rating and or review, I would appreciate it. And if you're a member of Ravelry, please stop by the group and join and say hi. The episodes also now will be on YouTube, so you can subscribe there and leave comments there as well. Week in review. Weather has been better. We did still have quite a bit of rain, but yesterday and today were sunny, so we're seeing more sunny days. It rained last night, which is fine. That's great because it waters all the plants and doesn't mess up the day, but so far it's been pretty good. It did get very hot though, and it's been in the 80s the last couple of days. It's starting to get a little stuffy in the house. Usually if it's like in the 60s or 70s and then there's one hot day, the house is still pretty cool, but when it's over 80 for a couple of days, it gets warm in here. We haven't put any air conditioners in yet. We usually only put one in the living room, one in the dining room. Those rooms are all open together, so that just cools that area down a little bit. It's usually very hot in here. I should probably get a small one for this room because what happens is, and what happened last night and today, is I don't know if it's the fact that I have so much fiber in this room, but I get bugs and moths in the window all the time. So I can't open the window. And I don't know, because they're so tiny, I think they can squeeze right past in between the two panes of the storm window and then get into the window. If I have the inside window shut, they can't get in. But if I open the window to get some air, then they can get in the room. Last night I was in here late. I was up until like 1. And so I have the light on too, so that attracts them. The window was full of moths. It was like a zombie apocalypse, but with moths, because I'm a knitter and spinner, so I have fiber everywhere, and it was scary. Like, I'm sitting over here knitting, and I could just see them all fluttering in the window over there, and I was like, I really hope they can't get in. YouTube channel, I just mentioned. I'm going to start, all of the episodes will be posted on YouTube, so if you prefer the YouTube platform, you can use that. iTunes, I think, I haven't figured out how to get the YouTube video to work with iTunes, but I was incorrect, and I thought I had 3 gigabytes of space on WordPress. I actually have 13, so it's really not a big deal if I upload videos. I will eventually have to pull them off once I run out of space, but there'll be an archive on YouTube, and the old episodes will be on YouTube if you want to go back or whatever. Ravelry number. I heard this cool thing on a couple of other podcasts, so I thought if you don't watch those ones and you haven't heard of it yet, I would tell you. There's a cool little key code kind of a thing you can do on Ravelry to find out your member number, which means the number you were when you signed up for Ravelry. And it's kind of complicated, but I'll post it in the show notes for the episode. And what you do is you go to your profile page, and then on your keyboard, you hit up, up, down, down, left, right, B as in boy, A as in apple. And right below your name, your username, I think, it's up at the top somewhere, but it's small print. All of a sudden it will pop up with the number of when you joined. And I am number 17,716. So, but that was kind of cool to figure out when it was that you joined Ravelry. I remember way back, it was, I don't know how it is now, if it's like immediate, but I remember way back, because I think it was in beta still, you'd have to ask to be signed up, and then you'd have to wait a couple of days or weeks or months or whatever. But I know it took a little while. I think it was a couple of weeks. Also in line with Week in Review, I have on my show notes, I just have Uuuggghhh! And as I'm scratching my arm right now, this whole month has just been a accumulation of stupid, small, insignificant annoyances, but they're starting to pile up and drive me berserk. Today even, I was preparing to record the podcast. Some other things to do. I did some laundry. No big deal, right? I went to get a dryer sheet out of the box in the cabinet in the laundry room, and all the dryer sheets came flying out of the box. these types of things have been happening to me all day, every day, for the past couple of weeks. And it's starting to drive me a little crazy. I don't know what happened yesterday, and I don't even know if they got in here with all those bugs in the window there. I am covered. I must have 20 bites on my hands and arms. And I think they're from those little no-see-ums, because I didn't see anything biting me. They weren't mosquitoes or black flies or something, but I am riddled with itchy little tiny bumps right now. When I went to record, typically I have 2 batteries for the camera, and typically what I do is one is always fully charged. And when one is used up, I stick it right in front of my monitor there to cue me in that it needs to be charged. Once one is charged, if there's a battery in the camera that already has charge, I put it up there with the camera case. One battery was in the camera, one battery was up there. I assume I have a fully charged battery, right? The one in the camera was pretty low, so I popped it out and put the other one in, also equally as low. So I'm hoping the camera doesn't shut off after like 2 minutes of recording, because the other battery's not fully charged yet and I don't have all day to do this. So those kind of things, all day, every day. And they're driving me absolutely berserk. I'm just like so fed up with everything right now. But I keep trying to be optimistic. What was I just saying? I keep trying to be optimistic and not let these things irritate me. The battery just died. Okay, moving on to revelations. Hopefully this battery doesn't die because it hasn't been charging for very long, but... Oh, one other thing as I go through my show notes. The scroll wheel on my mouse stopped working a little while ago, today. Because I don't use that all the time. Okay. Revelations. I am doing, right now, the Knitters Guild Association has a Master Hand Knitters program. And there are 3 levels, and what it is you have a bunch of instructions, you have to knit a bunch of swatches, you have to do some research and write some reports, depending on the level, and then you send it in to the Knitters Guild Association, and some volunteer co-chairs review it, and then they send you it back with feedback. Sometimes you have to resubmit, because they'll send you back why you need to resubmit swatches or, questions or whatever. And then after, I think you have to do all 3 levels to get anything. I'm not sure if you get you get a pin that says you're a master knitter. If you do all 3 levels and pass, I'm not sure if you get some sort of recognition for each level. I didn't look into it anymore. So I've been working on that. And for the first level, there are 17 swatches, I think, that you have to do. And you have to measure some gauge and do all these other things with the swatches. So these are the first 3, and what this waste yarn is indicating is my measurements for the gauge. Here's one in stockinette and ribbing and garter and ribbing, and then here's one in seed stitch. And the seed stitch one I actually knit up twice, because one of the things they mention is that your seed stitch should not be full of holes. And mine was, which I was a little surprised about, because I'm typically an extremely tight knitter. Like, you can see where I wrap the yarn around my finger to tension it, because it digs into my finger. But this was my first attempt, and I'm not sure how you can see with the camera, but there's a lot of little holes in there, in between the knit and the purl stitches. So I redid this swatch, and the second one was actually a lot smaller. Not in length, because length is one of the requirements of the swatch, but in width, you can see right there how much smaller the second swatch is than the first one. And then you have to block them properly and answer questions about them and all kinds of stuff. And it's lots of fun. I'm actually enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying doing the research. I'm learning a lot of things that I never would have thought about before, never really looked into, or didn't really care about. And it's very, very interesting. So I am now up to swatch 7. I think I knit, because I have 3 here, I have 3 more, and I have 1 more. So I'm done. So those were the first 3 swatches. Then there's increases, then there's decreases, then there's some lace, then there's some cables, then there's some color work. So it's kind of like everything. It's very, very interesting. So if you're interested in that, I will put a link in the show notes to that program. They also have some other correspondence classes about gauge, tension, basics, knitting and stuff. What was one of the other ones? Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head. But they're really in-depth, and they appear expensive if you look at the cost. But what that includes is you have membership with the Knitters Guild Association. You get a cast-on magazine that comes out 4 times a year. And the cost with the correspondence course is they're voluntarily doing this, but they have the programs, the materials, the people, the office, and shipping. You have to ship it to them, which is your cost, but then they have to ship it internally to different volunteers and then ship it back to you. You know, that's quite costly. I have a binder, a 3-ring binder, and all of this stuff, all the paperwork and all the swatches will go in that binder, and that's what has to get mailed. So it's a lot of fun. I'm actually learning a lot, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Ravello. I've been knitting on Ravello a lot recently, and I didn't even think of it when I picked it back up again, but I did shortly thereafter. I put in a marker to show how much I had knit. So this is the back, and that marker in the black yarn is marking where I had picked it up again and started knitting again. So it's going well. I'm liking it a lot. I really like this sweater. So I think I had 10 inches. I need 14 on the body from the armhole, and then I can do 2 inches of ribbing for 16 inches total for the body length. Then I can do the sleeves. The other thing I've been knitting on are my 2 socks in one, and I did get quite a bit more done. Not a ton, but you'll see that the leg is quite a bit longer than it was the last time you saw it. So the leg, did I just say leg? The foot. So I just need to continue on with that and then do the toes, and that should be interesting. Because the heel gusset and flap were interesting with the 2 socks on the needles at the same time. String theory. Spinning. I have not touched the Traveler again. I just think I should just pull that off and wait for Tour de Fleece, and because I'm going to have to start a new loop bump anyway for my plan for Tour de Fleece, so I should probably just let that one sit. I have been spinning on the Turkish spindles, though. I have them here. This is a Della Q bag I got a long time ago. I don't know if I've ever shown it, but it's silk. It works really well for my spindles because it sits upright on its own. So, what do I have in here? I have the white BFL on one of my Turkish spindles, and I think I've spun quite a bit more on that one than you saw the last time. And then I have the rainbow bat on my other Turkish spindle, which probably looks exactly the same to you, because I was focusing more on the white to kind of get it up to speed with this one. So that one looks like that. Both going very, very well. And I had mentioned in the last episode that I was ordering another Turkish spindle to be a plying spindle, because both of those spindles are very similar in weight, and it's better to have a heavier weight spindle for the 2 plies going on together in a bigger spindle, so I wanted one. I found from Schneider's Spindles on Etsy, and this was just what it came with on it, just showing that they tested it out, so this isn't anything I'm doing, but it's this lovely spindle that was only $15. And I'm not sure what woods are in it, actually. I don't even know if it said on the listing, but I like it a lot. It spins awesome. It's very nice. And so that's my 3rd Turkish spindle now. And yeah, very inexpensive. $15 is crazy for a Turkish spindle. My other ones cost $50. So that's Schneider Spindles on Etsy, and it was very quick turnaround because they're made to order and very quick shipping, and I highly recommend. He's got lots of different sizes, not a ton of different sizes, but he's got a good variety of different sizes of spindles. What else did I get? Oh, so that one is 1.4 ounces in weight, and the arms are 4.5 inches wide, and the shaft is 8.5 inches tall. And he's got lots of different sizes, like I said. I got a spinning bowl for my Takli, which I'm loving. Because the only other small spindle bowl I had was a wood one that was unfinished, and I think that was causing a lot of friction with the Takli. It was still spinning quite well, but not as well as I thought. Plus, I was concerned I was going to start damaging the bowl with the very point of the spindle. So, I found on Etsy an Etsy seller that makes fused glass bowls, and the other thing I love about it is it's not round. It's rectangular. And I hope you can see how lovely it is in the camera. I'm not sure how the camera's going to pick it up, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And there were lots of other ones that actually had like designs in them. Really, really nice. And this was $14. And again, very quick shipping. I got it very quickly. And now the Takli spins like crazy fast in that thing. And that is from Reflections Glass on Etsy. And I highly recommend them as well. I really have never had a poor experience with an Etsy seller. I don't think I ever have. The other thing I got, I know this is bad, isn't it? I did say in the last episode I'm going to stop buying stuff after this. I had already ordered this stuff prior to that. I've been looking forever for an orifice hook for my Traveler. Because I have the one that it comes with, but it's just a plain old, I mean it's not terrible, but it's just a plain old, you know, piece of metal hook. And I really wanted like a decorative one. I have had things from her before. I should have pulled them out. I have little clay stitch markers from her that are little cats. They're super cute. And I also, actually, she gave me a little sample one, too, with my order. And this is the clay sheep on Etsy. And that's Anita. And she makes a whole bunch of different stuff. As you can see, stitch markers, orifice hooks, loom heddle hooks, wraps per inch gauge tools, diz and threader sets, buttons, shawl pins, and more. And the orifice hook I got is just absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. It's a little dragon. And it's green and purple like my room. It is so cute. It is so cute. And it's got this lovely, it's got so much detail on it too. It's crazy. It's got this lovely twisted hook. I absolutely love it. I hope it's showing up well in here. If not, maybe I'll insert some pictures. But it is so cute and it has so much detail. I'm a little concerned of damaging it, but it seems very, very sturdy. But it is clay. So I have yet to find the perfect yarn to hang it from my wheel with, so that's why it's still sitting up here. And that's all I bought, I promise. I have been also spinning, practicing on the Takli some more with my new spinning bowl, and that's going much better. Cotton is really strange to spin when you're used to spinning wool and other types of fibers, because the things that you have to do with cotton are kind of the opposite, or things that you would never do with other fibers. For example, when you draft out, you get slubs just because the staple length is so short. It's kind of impossible not to get slubs. To remove a slub, it's not like in worsted spinning where you would stop and kind of back off the twist and draft out more, because you'll actually break it if you try and do that. Plus, it's a supported spindle. You don't have both hands, really. What you do is you actually add more twist, draft out a little more, add twist, draft out, add twist, draft out, and then the slub will come out. You need a little bit of twist to hold it together so that the slub doesn't just break apart. But it's kind of counterintuitive, because typically when you have slubs, you don't add more twist to get them out. So it's really strange, but I'm starting to get the hang of it and get much better at it. But it is a little different. For scrolls, I don't know. Depending on the length of this episode, if not this episode, then very soon I was going to do a review of Twist Collective, which is an online knitting magazine. Maybe in this episode, if not, it'll be in the next one. Heresy. We have the new shawl design giveaway, so let's do that. Let me pull up the Ravelry board. Probably should have done that before. Go a lot faster if my scroll wheel worked. It's just, everything's just annoying me so much right now. Alrighty. So, let me lock the thread. This is so exciting for you to watch, isn't it? I will lock the thread right now. Okay, we had 2 through 25. So I'm gonna get random.org up here. And we'll see what we get. Alright, let's make this bigger so we can all see it. I'll do 2 through 25, click generate, and I've got 19. So post number 19 is the winner. Let's see who that is. That is Bets, the Liz Stitches on Ravelry. Yay! So you have won a copy of Ainsley, and I will send it to you as soon as I'm done recording. I am going to have another giveaway for this episode, and what I'm going to do is any Ravelry pattern up to $5. It can be one of mine, it can be anybody. So whatever pattern you want that's up to $5, you can win. This one's going to be a little different though, because in order to participate you need to give me an answer to a question. So you can't post that on the board obviously, because the first person who has the right answer is going to give it away to everybody else. So I will put a thread on the board with the instructions, but I will lock it immediately so that nobody can post the answer to it, because you're going to have to private message me on Ravelry with your answer, and then based on the time and date that the entries were received, that will be your random number. So what the question is about my t-shirt today. I would like you to tell me what movie is depicted on this t-shirt. And hopefully the whole thing's in the camera frame, because you kind of need to see it. So, you need to tell me what movie this is from. And I didn't look up when it came out. I should have before I started talking. I am 34 years old. It was out when I was a kid. There's your hints. Other than that, you get no more hints. So, that one will be for any Ravelry pattern up to $5. And I will probably just do the drawing on the next episode. Let's see, I keep trying to use my scroll wheel. That's driving me crazy. I'm gonna have to get a new mouse. I'm gonna take this one apart. I shook it earlier because I was angry and worked for like 2 seconds. Alright, sweater design. What I'm thinking now with the sweater is I want to finish level 1 of the master's program first, because I'm actually learning a ton of stuff in this, and then I will start the sweater design. I also have a craftsy class that I have to finish that had to do with designing a sweater and some other things, so yeah. Beading tutorial is still on my list of things to do, and I've started to sketch out, because it's so much easier to record a tutorial type thing when you actually have an outline. So I'm starting to sketch out and gather materials. I'll have to make up some swatches, and then we'll have the beading tutorial. Craftsy classes. If you have ever taken Craftsy classes, you know what they are. If you haven't, they're online courses with videos and materials and things like that. And I've taken quite a few, but one that I took recently was really fabulous. It was with Clara Parks, and I think it was called Know Your Yarn. She is the person who writes for the Knitters Review online newsletter. And she also did the Knitter's Book of Yarn and the Knitter's Book of Wool. And this was really interesting. It went all over ply structure, what stitches certain ply structures and fibers and compositions are good for, how to tell what they are, you know, elasticity, what they're, you know, washing them, and it went over like everything you'd want to know about yarn. It was really, really interesting. How yarns are made, because in mills and stuff, there's big machines, so it kind of went over how those, even as far as how like brushed yarns are made. So it was really interesting. You should check that one out if you're interested. Seasonal Sock Syndrome knit along. The spring session ends June 20th, which is 2 days from now. And I can't believe it. And there's 116 entries. I am amazed how many people did this knit along with us. And the next session will start June 21st. For that one, I said that maybe we should have more of a theme, more of a cohesive thing. So we had all these patterns that we voted on. I picked 10. I was going to pick 5, but there were so many that had like 5 votes or, you know, the same number of votes that I ended up just picking 10. And those are listed on the Ravelry board. I also received another donation from somebody who was busy with fiber festivals. Did I say this before? Because this seems redundant to me. Oh no, I think the last time I recorded I said she was sending it. So I now have it, so I can show it to you. And it's, I think it's pronounced Quarry Fibers. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. The colorway is ruffled, and it's in the Sparkle Sock Base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I hope there's not a lot of glare from the bag, but she tied it so nicely with this nice little ribbon, I didn't want to take it out. So there's the label. And I hope you can see it without a lot of glare. But it is absolutely gorgeous. Really fantastic fall colorway. Absolutely lovely. So that is going to go into the donation pot. And now we're on to Ravelry Patterns. It's getting very stuffy in here. I also have all these lights on for the camera. It gets really hot. Alright. So the first one is the Over the Moon Collar by Annette Kaufman, and it's free for the month of June. And it's a lovely little, like, it's a collar, but it's more of like a shawlette, I would say. So that's that one. And I think she showed it with buttons. I think one of the other picture, it's a little different. Yeah, the other picture has ribbon to kind of close it and keep it together. There's a different one with ribbon. Really pretty and free for the month of June. And I just closed everything like I usually do. The home button is right next to the close out full screen button. And that used worsted yarn, 109 to 134 yards, and needle sizes US 4 and US 6. I think that would be really great for hand spun because the yardage is so low for the requirement of the pattern. The next one is the Sparky Serpentine Scarf by Gina Wild, and that is $4. And that showcases Alchemy Yarns of Transformation, the Sparky base, which is very sparkly. And it's not stellina where like there's little bits throughout. If you look closely at this yarn, it's actually almost like sewn onto the thread. And that's that scarf. And that would look fabulous in one with stellina, in one without stellina, in this yarn, in anything. This particular yarn is 97% silk, and that 3% of that, whatever makes it sparkly. Alright, and the last one is the Spine Pullover by Sheila Toy Stromberg, and that is $4. And it's got a lovely spine detail on the back with drop stitch technique. It's in a sport weight yarn, so that's that one, that's the back, and then I'll show you the front. It is a short sleeve sweater, but I'm sure you could just add length to the sleeves to kind of, if you prefer a long sleeve sweater. And it would look just fine. Or 3/4 length sweaters. There's the front. And then I think there's another picture with more. Oh, here it is. Not that one. That shows the entire back so you can see it. And I like the detail around the ribbing for the sleeves and the bottom too. And that's in a sport weight yarn. Clicking buttons, clicking buttons. That's in Classic Elite Yarns Merino Top Canyon, which is a sport weight. Needle size US 6, and the yardage is 575 to 1125, depending on the size that you make. So those are your Ravelry patterns for today. I really hope the camera's still recording, because I could be sitting here for half an hour and it beeps, but the way my day's been going, I'm a little concerned that it shut off and I have no idea. I wish it had like a little blinking light on the front or something, then I would know. Now we are on to Delusional Jabber. I'm probably going to keep this short because it's hot in here and I'm done. Alright, I have nothing other than reading and TV, so let me just skip over the other things I usually say I didn't do. So, for reading, I'm still on Last Will and Testament by Molly McRae. I'm over 50% done now, like 52 or something as of last night. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like it a lot. Really like those themed cozy mysteries, and this one is even more fun because it's got to do with knitting and spinning and weaving. And it's just enough. The theme is sprinkled in there just enough not to be annoying. The writing is very good and flows very well, and you really feel like you're there with the characters, and I like it a lot. I think there's 3 in the series now, and I know that the 3rd one I think just came out like 2 months ago, so I'm assuming she's going to continue and do more. TV. 24, Live Another Day, I'm caught up on as of yesterday. The Will Wheaton Project, I think there was a new episode yesterday, so I have to go and watch that one. In here, while I've been knitting and spinning, I've been watching My Name is Earl, and I'm up to like, I think I have 4 episodes left of season 3, and there's only 4 seasons. Coming up, Orange is the New Black. I have to catch up on that one. I might actually watch that today. Under the Dome is coming in June. Defiance is coming in June. There was a new, I'll have to look it up for the next episode, because I forgot, I meant to and then I forgot to. There's a new show on FX, I believe, with David Tennant in it. Except he speaks with an American accent. Really rather hear his regular accent, but it's fine. It's David Tennant, it's fine. It's kind of like, I think he's like a detective or something. And I think it's just a 10-episode series that will wrap up at the end. It's like a mini-series. What else did I see? The Strain with Guillermo del Toro is coming out. That may also be on FX. I don't remember. And then there was one I saw a commercial for with Halle Berry that was Extant. Some alien sci-fi kind of a thing. I also saw, was it Metal? No, I think it was just Tyrant. I can't remember what channel it was on, but that one looked good as well. And looked like a sci-fi kind of a thing. So, that's what I'm looking forward to. And I think that's it. So I've been really focused on the Master Knitters program recently, with all of these swatches and blocking. I will say, I use KnitPicks blocking boards, which are fantastic. I will say though, I think I'm going to change up how I block these and pull. I have a little folding table that's probably like, you know, this by this. I think I'm going to pull that in here because I typically block on the floor, but I can't really see what I'm doing. I can see what I'm doing. I would really rather have it though up on a surface where I can really see what I'm doing because it's getting annoying. And kneeling down on the floor, there's a hardwood floor in here, is, you know, becoming annoying. And I can't kneel that long, I have to stand up, and I still have to, you know, pin some more things and all this stuff. So I think I'm going to try it on the table, see if that works better. But otherwise, so far so good. I showed you the swatches I've completed this far, and they're coming out pretty good. Having a lot of fun with it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. There's an active Ravelry board, too, for the Master Knitters program as well. So, yes. I hope that... I think I will get one more episode in for June. And I hope that I have some FOs to show you. I'm not sure, though. Maybe the socks. I don't think Ravello will be done by then. I don't think I have anything else close enough to finish, and I don't think I'll be done spinning by then, so we'll see. So, I thank you for joining me. I hope you're enjoying wonderful weather and you're not sweating. I hope that you are having a better time than I am recently. Again, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. It's not that horrible. But when every day is like annoying little thing after annoying little thing for weeks,